The 1996 film The Long Kiss Goodnight, I would consider this very underrated. Even nearly 30 years later, some of the characters are memorable, and of course the story is nicely put together as well. Now, I actually heard about this movie for many years, but I didn't check it out until earlier this year. And coming back to rewatch it for this review, it still holds up pretty well even though it does have some flaws. So the story of this one is that it's about a school teacher named Samantha Kane. She suffers from amnesia. She doesn't know her past life. But one night she ends up bumping her head due to a car accident. And so all her memories comes back to her and she ends up getting help from a private detective. And both of them goes on a journey where they end up discovering a dark conspiracy. Man, I have to say is that I wish I had gotten to this sooner because it is interesting seeing this school teacher remembering her past as an assassin, and she also has some badass moments all throughout the course of this movie. Not only that, but the plot does get a little far-fetched after a certain point, but not to a degree where it feels like it's jumping the shark. Could have been a little bit better, absolutely, but at the same time, it's not an outright disaster in my opinion. Hats off to everyone who had worked on this because they made quite a memorable 90s action movie. Geena Davis, she does a great job playing Samantha, aka Charlie. In the beginning, she's this simple school teacher, but after she gets in that car accident, she hits her head, she becomes that badass Charlie that she used to be. It was quite interesting that Geena Davis actually played the role pretty well because before this, she was mostly known for motherly roles in other films such as Beetlejuice, The Fly, and of course Thelma and Louise being a few examples. And her chemistry with Samuel L. Jackson is actually great. It is the big highlight of this one because they work so well together. Like Samuel L. Jackson, he was Pete's 90s era during this time. He had some funny lines. I was laughing quite a bit throughout this film. And it just works between the two. Even though they don't end up together, he does end up saving her more than once, I might add, within this. Now, as far as the villains is concerned, I thought that Timothy, he's very generic, very forgettable. Nothing he really did in this film impressed me. Maybe if he had more character development, I would have cared more about his motivations. And then there's Brian Cox playing Dr. Nathan. He did a good job as well. He's a very intriguing character within the story and actually worked for even the small amount of screen time that he has. The action scenes, definitely not the best I've seen within movies from the 90s, but it is entertaining. At the end of the day, while not one of my favorite films from that decade, it does enough here to keep it from being a bore fest. And quite frankly, I also will say that this is worth checking out any time of the year, even though it's dubbed a Christmas movie. I'm giving this film a 7 out of 10. It's quite unfortunate we never got a sequel. I did hear that they had worked on it. It was going to be called The Kiss After Lightning. But it had fell through for several reasons. And I'm guessing one of those reasons is because the studio wasn't confident enough in a sequel. Another complaint I have about this one is that the runtime feels a little excessive. If it was 15 to 20 minutes shorter, it would have been better for the overall narrative and it would have gotten to that third act a lot quicker. Director Rennie Harlan did a good job on this, even though I wouldn't put it above other films he had worked on such as Die Hard 2 or even Cliffhanger. It is still worthwhile even all of these years later. And that's my review of The Long Kiss Goodnight. Alright, leave your comments down below in the section and let me know what you think about this movie. Okay, this is Slim Guy 172 saying peace out.